Hi, it's great to be with everyone. My name is Jessica. I work at Potential Energy, a climate and clean energy narrative change firm. This is our small but mighty team. We are a nonprofit founded about 5 years ago, and our goal is to accelerate the energy transition from a dirty energy system to a clean one. And we do that through marketing. Every day, all of us are probably bombarded with hundreds of messages from different organizations, each carrying explicit and implicit statements about who we are and how we see the world. And when it comes to marketing, you might think first of that show, Mad Men. But unlike the Mad Men, we're not just sitting around the room all day smoking cigars and pondering ideas. What we do share with them is a deep desire to really understand humans, especially those who are different from us, and figure out how we can actually get them to care about climate change more, what makes them tick emotionally. We take a really data-driven approach to doing that, running experiments, analyzing the data, running some more experiments. And over the last 4 to 5 years, we've accumulated a ton of millions of data points around this, measuring every single piece of content that we've created to understand its impact. And what I'd like to share today are three essential components that we found to be really effective for telling climate stories. The first is simplicity. It's quite an alienating thing for most people to wake up in the morning and think, today my goal is going to decarbonize. A lot of the scientific and technical jargon we use, like net zero and 1.5 degrees, are really foreign to most people and don't know what it means, what it implies, how it relates to their everyday life. Even the fundamentals around climate science and the role of fossil fuels in extreme weather tend to be a bit hazy. So we really need to simplify the message to core ideas. One that has worked for us, we call 99% of experts. As most of us know, scientific consensus on climate change exists, but most people don't actually know that. And so we built a piece of creative on that concept, likening it to the analogy, if all the mechanics in your town told you needed to get new brakes, would you risk it? If all the doctors were telling you to get a mole checked out, wouldn't you do that too? And so if all the scientists are saying climate change is real, man-made, and only getting worse, shouldn't we all be doing something about it? Our research, as well as that from the Yale Program on Climate Change Communications, shows that this core concept has an important role in helping people connect the dots. The second is accountability. Every story needs a hero and an antagonist, and one of the most powerful stats we've tested is the fact that just 100 companies are responsible for 70% of carbon pollution. Most people don't know that. It's new news. It's new news, and it triggers our sense of unfairness, and that actually there is someone that we should be holding accountable. Number three is humanity. And I mean this both in the existential way, but also in a really tactical way. Our most effective content features real humans dealing with the real impacts of climate change. And this is a simple concept we called more than a headline, with the subject looking straight at the camera and a voiceover that reads out news headlines about how Californians have been hit again and again by extreme weather. And this gets to the big why for climate change. In 2023, we ran a global study with nearly 60,000 respondents over 23 countries. And the big consistent why we found wasn't really about economic growth. It was more relevant to talk about air and water pollution or extreme weather. But by far, the most consistent reason people wanted to care about it was to protect the future for the next generation. And this was true across gender, income, education, and even political ideology. And we took that and we really boiled it down to this idea of love, that we want to protect the people and places we care about. So the last piece of content I'll share today, we ran on the Super Bowl earlier this year, which we made in partnership with several climate scientists who are also parents. When we interviewed them to understand what got them motivated every day to keep doing climate research, their answer was pretty simple. I felt like I owed it to my kids. So when we analyzed the data afterwards, we saw overwhelmingly positive sentiment. And I think most importantly, it helped people see that they weren't alone, that others cared about this too. So whether you're a parent or not, we hope this core message resonates with you.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.